Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't really need to introduce this, do I? It's the Rev Amplification Generator 120 Mark III. I'm really excited to try this 4-channel behemoth that has almost as many controls and switches on the front as a Mesa Boogie Road King Mark II. It's 4-channel, dedicated EQ for each channel, and a bunch of other switches. So let's take a look at the clean channel. It's got level, a 3-band EQ. It's got a wide button when you press in the channel button, as well as a bright switch. Channel 2 has a drive function, 2 different types of drives, separated by a blue and red LED with the option for the bright switch as well. And it's got a gain control, 3-band EQ and volume. Channel 3 has 2 modes of aggression and 1 turned off, so 3 different modes, as well as a bright switch, a cut switch, and there's another switch that I've forgotten the name of because it's another switch to remember the name of. Help me out here. Fat. So it's bright, fat, and cut. Cool. And obviously 2 modes of aggression, which is separated by blue and red LEDs. And then channel 4, 2 modes of aggression and the same fat, cut, and bright switches. And then when you get to the master section, you have 2 master volume controls, a presence control, a depth control, a noise gate, which has a threshold control on the back, a reverb control, which has a reverb control on the back, as well as options for the inbuilt 2-notes torpedo dynamic IR simulator. So it's a stereo torpedo dual dynamic IR simulator with a level control on the front. There's a store button for MIDI, a headphone out with a level, as well as a level for the effects loops as well. Damn, that's a lot of switches, and there's more on the back. There's bias points, obviously, which you get on something like this. As I said, the 2 controls for the reverb and for the noise gate. It has a plethora of different speaker outputs, a plethora of foot switch options, including MIDI in, MIDI out, as well as a output to connect a rev cab to the head so that you can affect the LEDs on the front of the cab as well.
There's also a USB, so you can change all the 2-note stuff.
But you can also connect via Bluetooth, if I'm not correct, as well.
Absolutely.
Damn, that's a lot of stuff. So my signal chain for this video is my guitar, which is a Ibanez DeVelle with Seymour Duncan P90 pickup. It's P90 rails. So it's like a humbucker, but there's a P90 in it and a single coil blade, which you can choose any configuration of that, humbucker, P90 only, single coil only. Directly into the Rev Generator Mark III, which is then going directly into this Coffee Custom 2x12 cab with a V30 and a cream back in it. And it's currently being mic'd up with the Vintage 30 with a 1970s or late 1960s Beyerdynamic M260 ribbon microphone. Now, in an ideal situation, I'd go through all these channels and play a different style through every channel so that you guys can really hear what it sounds like for you. But honestly, I don't care. I'm going to do what I do through this amp. So if you don't like metal, turn the fucking video off now. Great to see you back. Why is he not playing a country lick? Anyway, so clean channel. Let's hit that wide switch. That is rattling everything in this room. I'm gonna turn some reverb on, which is I think this button. Oh yeah. Let's try the bright switch. Sounds fucking amazing. What do you think?
I think it sounds great. You've got a lot more drive going on there than I would, which is interesting considering Channel 1 doesn't have a drive knob.
Because I hit the guitar properly. Maybe. Let's turn down the level a little bit. Maybe turn up the master, which is that one, right? Yeah. That's gone way clean. Sick. What an absolutely epic clean sound. Okay, right. Channel 1 sounds epic. It's really, really clean, but can be driven if you drive the volume control, which makes me think that I should be careful with the channel volume control on each of the other 4 channels. Anyway, let's move on to channel 2. All right, let's do this all on noon. Basically takes where channel 1 left off. I'm going to turn the gain on full because, you know, more is more. Bright switch. That's that nice, thick, brownish kind of sound. I'm going to turn the gate on for this, which I think I just switched. Yeah. So that's all the controls roughly around noon with the gain dimed. Now it's dimed. Bright switch turned on. I'm going to try adding the drive in here. So I've got 2 different drives. Let's try the blue drive first. A little bit loose for me. Let's try the little red one. That sounds truly excellent. So let's try up in the treble a little bit. Sounds amazing. Like, I mean, Channel 2 was pretty much in that sort of overdriven, I kind of want to say brown sound. It was, I know, no pun intended, but brown sound is kind of that early Eddie Van Halen fucking Variac to fuck Marshall kind of vibe. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from that channel, was that it was in that kind of vein. But obviously with the drive on red mode, it's getting to the point where it would be suitable for the dirtiest of metal. But we don't need to do that because we've still got 2 more channels of filth to go through. So let's try channel number 3 next. So this is the one I'm most excited about, mainly because it's purple. And I don't know if you guys know, but I really like purple. So I'm just going to try it like this, all controls at noon. Let's turn the gain all the way up. Let's try turning the gain off. Holy shit, that's fucking tight. It sounds amazing. So I'm going to turn the gain down. I'm just going to start trying the different aggressions. We haven't even played with the EQ settings at the moment because there's no point, because it sounds amazing as it is. Aggression 1. Aggression 2. So between aggression 1 and aggression 2, I would say aggression 2 is a little bit more saturated. Aggression 1 has got a little bit more transient to it. So I'd say the difference is, imagine a tube screamer that's got more volume for number 1, and then number 2 adds a little bit of gain to that volume. That's kind of how I'd put it. I think you'd probably agree with me with that one, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more squishy. So
I felt like the red aggression, the second one, was kicking the low end a bit harder.
I think it might be too, yeah.
It's subtle.
It's very subtle, but then once we start playing with the EQ, it might start getting a little bit more crazy. I guess it's now time to try the cut, the bright, and the fat switches. So I liked aggression, the blue aggression. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to leave all the controls at noon again. Let's try the bright switch. All right, let's try the cut switch. That is like a mid-cut, ever so slight scoop in the mids, which then increases the top and the bottom end ever so slightly. So that sounds so pissed off. It's fucking... It's incredible. And I haven't even played around with the EQ yet. All right, let's try the fat switch. And that definitely boosts the bottom end. All right, okay. I really liked the bright switch. I thought that sounded great. So let's add a little bit of bass to that. Cut mid a little bit more. Maybe a tiny little bit more gain. Just a tiny little bit. We've not even played with the depth and presence control. Let's turn up the depth and presence a tiny little bit to make it a little bit more present and in your face, and then the bottom end just to chew a little bit more. Oh, sick. Oh god, it's disgustingly good, isn't it? Little do you know, there's a second one of these sat over there. Let's see where channel 4 takes us. Okay. I could play around with the EQ controls, show you what they're all doing, but there's no point because it sounds sick. All controls at noon. Again, I'm pretty certain that we're going to have a fairly similar outcome to channel 3. I think channel 4 is going to have a little bit more compression. Let's see what we see. Sounds fucking incredible. Aggression 1. It sounds like the end of the world in here. Okay, I'm going to turn the gate on. Aggression 2. It's actually too much gain for me right then, so I'm going to turn that down. Not quite enough now. Aggression 2 sounds really, really good on that channel. So let's try the bright switch with Aggression 1 again. Chords ring out beautifully. It sounds great. Let's try the cut switch. Sounds absolutely awesome. Fat switch. Channel 4 actually has slightly less bottom end because I had to just increase the resonance a tiny little bit and the bass, which means it's probably a tiny little bit smoother, but it sounds way more fucked off than Channel 3. It's really angry. But obviously when I was ringing out those chords, it had this really cool complex distortion. It was just like really beautiful at the same time. It was, damn, what an amp. It's definitely in the top 5 amps I've ever played. It sounds phenomenal. It's almost like that finished, polished guitar track that you dream of, you know, where you don't need any pedals, you don't need any post EQ really other than to fix what the mic is doing or maybe the room. It just sounds bonkers good in the room. And I'm really excited to really sink my teeth into this in the coming months and years because it's phenomenal. Special thanks to Dan, Derek, Sam, and everyone at Rev Amplification for sending this absolutely incredible piece of engineering, design, and obviously amazing ears on the entire bunch of you. Not only are Canadians the kindest people on earth, they also make really angry sounding amps. Again, special thanks for Rev sending me this. Special thanks to Adam Steele of Hot Pole Studios for helping me film this video. Now, what could be better than one Rev Amplification Generator 120 Mark III? I'll tell you what's better. 2 Rev Generator 120 Mark IIIs. Then Adam from Hot Pole brought his one over. Anyway, let me know what you think of the tone in the comments. I will see you next time for 2 Rev Generator 120 Mark IIIs. Peace.